Hi, this is Bobby. My name is Bobby Watson. I'm giving this speech on tough love. I'm going to walk around really quick and introduce my audience. Say hi, Joseph.
Hello.
Say hello,
Hello,
Julie.
Julie.
Sorry, I forgot your name.
Hi, I'm Steve Garcia.
Steve, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicky Wee.
Say hi, Robert.
Robert Villa.
Say hi, Bert.
Bert Revelle.
And please say hi, Jonas.
Hi, I'm Jonas.
Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving a speech today on tough love. The topic of our theme of our group today was supposed to be love. So, in that theme, considering Valentine's Day is rapidly approaching, I'm going to give a different take on love. I want to start out by defining tough love. Now, there's two different definitions for it. There's the Webster's Dictionary definition and my personal definition of tough love. According to Webster's, tough love is love that's brought out of concern or expressed in a strict way, especially to make someone behave responsibly. I'm sure everyone in the room has either experienced tough love or has had to give tough love in the past to a relative, a friend, anybody. It's a common human emotion, common human action. And unfortunately, we live in a society nowadays where we're required to give tough love more than usual. My definition of tough love is loving someone the hard way. It's by letting go of that person and allowing them to experience the consequences of their actions. Now I speak of this through my own example of making mistakes in my life. I had relatives that were there and friends that told me when I wasn't listening, when I was doing something wrong that I couldn't see because my judgment was clouded. They were there to give me that tough love. They were there to shake me, to intervene, to give me that clear sense of direction. And I believe that comes through God. Some people might say that it comes from a common humanistic approach or experience. Whatever you want to call it, it is what it is. Tough love is necessary to give to people. It keeps us straight. It keeps us focused. It gets our head out of the clouds. I'm sure I don't have to tell you what examples of tough love are, but I decided to go ahead and list a couple anyways, just to give you a chance to reflect on your experiences with tough love. For all the parents out there in the room, I'm sure you've had experiences with your children disobeying, breaking the rules, getting attention at school. I'm sure you've taken their phones away. You may have grounded them. You may have limited their TV watching. That's a good example of tough love. And it's not easy to give. Nobody wants to ground their kid. Nobody wants to talk sternly to them, but we have to do it to correct them, to make sure that they're listening and acting correctly. Another famous example of a more recent example that's been in television lately are these shows on intervention. Drug abuse and alcohol abuse are rampant in our society nowadays. And I'm not sure if you guys know of any drug addicts or alcoholics, but it's a common occurrence nowadays. And interventions are truly necessary. For anyone that has ever experienced an intervention, you know how tough it can be, how draining it can be, but how necessary that it is. For this reason, I've decided to use this as an example of tough love. On a religious note, just what everybody in the room knows that I have a Christian faith. And I decided to just state a couple of verses out of the Bible about tough love. Proverbs 13:24 says, "He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline him." If you turn that around logically, it reads this way: "He who loves his son does not spare the rod. Because he loves him, he's careful to discipline him." What does that mean? To me, that means if you need to be disciplined, it doesn't have to be a rod. It doesn't have to be a punishment of physical pain. It could be punishment from crime. It could be going to court. It could be telling your brother who's a drug addict, like my brother and my sister, "You can't come to my house anymore. You can't talk to me anymore. You can't be around my family." That's a consequence. That's tough love. I've had to do that. I've had to experience that, and it's not easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, to turn your back on your relative. And I pray that no one in this room ever has to do that. I was going to explain exactly what tough love does, but everybody knows what it does. It's like a filter for the soul. It's necessary. It's vital to push these things out, to get rid of drug addiction or bad behaviors that you know are going to harm this person, that you know are going to destroy their life or even cost them their life. Reputations don't mean much when you're talking about drug abuse and alcohol abuse. Interventions and tough love become necessary. The Bible also states in Hebrews 12:11, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness." In this example, you could equate it down to giving that tough love to this person can make all the difference in the world. Even if you just hope that much, if you give the effort, I promise you, it may not come fruitful today, but it will eventually down the line. Somebody will take that seed that you plant inside of that person through that tough love, and they'll nurture it. Because God wants you to do what's possible through tough love. He wants you to be an example to this person. If you have to scold somebody, do it in love. Don't do it out of hatred. Leave the anger and the hatred out of the room before you even start to do an intervention. Consider that. In conclusion on this speech, I just want to say that nobody wants to go through an intervention. Nobody wants to give tough love. We want to hug our friends and our family. We want to love them all the time and never have to go through any tough emotions with them. We don't want to have to scold them. We want to hug them. But trust me, from someone that had an example of tough love in my life when I was screwing up, I had an uncle and an aunt that bailed me out of jail, not once but twice, for doing something stupid. The same thing twice. And I was lucky, really lucky, because they were there to help me through tough love. Thank you very much for letting me speak today. God bless y'all and have a good day.